Hello guys, Russ Krachun here, and I would like to welcome you to Equine Educational Clinic, developing collection to improve performance. In this video, I would like to share with you my philosophy, how I think when educating horse to developing collection and develop horse, I come back always and say mental and physical abilities, and why I concentrate first of all in the horse brain. And after I concentrate on the physical abilities of the animal, because through the many years I realized by working through the physical exercises and concentrate with horse and concentrating only on the physical abilities, mental abilities will never gonna grow and physical abilities is gonna fall apart. So through these years I start to develop my methodology with horses, and on the ground when I'm working with horses, and also in a performance riding education. Or just if you want to educate a horse to ride in your barn, or just trail ride. You still want to communicate with your horse through the brain and after through the physics. So in this video, I would like to share with you my philosophy, what I think when educating horse. What actually involve, what kind of physical exercises involve to educate the horse to be collected, and why we even have to have collected horse when we're riding the horse. So for many years I truly struggle to understand, not just only struggle to understand mentally what collection means, or even I struggle physically to with my feel when I'm riding a horse. When I ride a horse, I not understand differences when horses travel flat on the walk, trot, and lope, or when horses travel collected on the walk, trot, and lope. If I want with my horse travel in a straight line in the middle arena, on a flat walk, you have to travel in a straight line, nice and relax. That's what I want to see. Very good. So when I done walk on the walk, then I'm gonna say now we're gonna work on engaging walk. So engaging walk, that's a left lead. So you have to travel in a straight line, keeping his hips inside. So he have to travel on a flat trot in a straight line, nice and relaxed, without contacting his face. Now we're gonna come back to collective trot and an engaged trot. So straight line without the wall. My horse have to travel with hips inside and engage trot and pick up. Engage the hip, asking the lope, and you have to lope on the flat lope, just on the loose rein. So again, pick up your left, be engaged left, right here, very nice, and continue travel forward motion, very good. And through the years, by educating horses, I realize collection actually, that's a physical abilities of the animal. Big circle in arena, that's actually very hard to achieve with horse, to stay in a circle. And not every animal can be collected. Same as a human, not every equine, not any athlete can be very good physically developed. Mother Nature did not give him very good physical abilities, then he cannot perform at a high level on any sport. So by educating many different breeds and horses, I realized not every horse can be collected. But how I can start to understand what collection actually means, how that's feel under saddle. So let's break everything into small pieces, and that's why I want to share with you philosophy before you're going to attend this clinic, so you can truly understand how I think, and it's going to be much easier for you actually after. We're still going to talk on this clinic, and I'm going to share with you my philosophy methodology and actually share with you my methods under the saddle with horse. But I truly you feel my thoughts about the collection and truly think how I feel about the collection and my philosophy. And I think it's going to be much easier for you to understand me when you're actually going to attend to this clinic. So it's very important. Collection, it's a final. I truly want you to pay attention what I'm saying right now. Collection, it's a final performance, physical maneuver on the horse, mental and physical abilities on the walk, on the trot, and in the lope. Through the years, I realized that's not possible. That's not possible. Educate horse immediately, be collected in the forward motion when we start to educate horse. 2 years old, 3-year-olds, 4, 5, and etc. We cannot combine collection. It's probably very strange what I'm going to say right now, but it's not possible immediately to educate horse physics and brain. First of all, brain and physics collection with forward motion, because it's completely two different education. That's a physical abilities and this physical abilities. So first of all, number one, what you have to teach your horse, you have to teach your horse to travel in the forward motion freely, develop balance and coordination. And horse truly have to understand what consistent and consistently mean in the forward motion. Any education with horses, any cue with horses is going to be consistent and consistently. I'm going to explain what I mean by consistent and consistently. If you ask horse to travel in the forward motion, or move the shoulder, or move the hindquarters, or be flexible in the neck, if horse not respond immediately to your cue, it means immediately, it doesn't mean you have to do it right now. Horse truly not understand the cue, that's mean immediately. Then it's will going to be involve frustration, because horse not understand the cue. So that's going to be frustration mentally. When horse going to be upset mentally, then physical ability is going to cease, so it's going to be tense, and frustration going to grow more and more and more. So if horse not understand travel consistent when I squeeze my legs on the walk, trot, and lope, the different cues for different speed, immediately on the loose rein without the holding the horse by the rein, then consistently it means travel and never stop. Will never gonna work, because horse not understand first cue, how he can perform for us for a long period of time and be relaxed. So if he gonna upset immediately, he gonna upset on the future physical exercise. So that's why we have to educate horse travel consistent first of all, and after consistently. So horse will respond to a cue immediately, and after respond to this cue, continue perform on a physical exercise till you're gonna give to horse different cue to stop and relax from this physical exercise. So that's a number one when we actually have to teach horse to progress his mental ability, physical abilities for the collection. Number two, we have to develop flexibility in the horse body. And that's where we're going to involve a lot of frustration in the future if horse not going to be flexible. So first of all, we have to start from the neck. Then we have to transfer neck to the shoulders. Then shoulders and neck we have to transfer to the rib cage. And all the shoulders, neck, and rib cage we have to transfer to the hindquarters. So several different exercises, and we have previous clinic when I share with you all my methods and philosophy how to educate horse to be flexible from his ears to his hind hoofs. You actually can go to True Grit Academy on my website and purchase this clinic live and watch all methods by method, step by step with explanation how to educate horse travel consistent and consistently and be very flexible, and after combine this education together. And that's what we're talking right now, how important to have this education to educate horse to be collected in a forward motion. In the future, on the walk, trot, and lope. So if our horse doesn't know how to stay still and be flexible, then the neck, shoulders, rib cage, and hindquarters, we cannot combine this forward motion because it will going to be again frustration because he not understand forward motion and he not understand flexibility. So we're going to start to educate this together and we will going to have frustration. So it's very important to first of all develop flexibility and after develop forward motion and combine together. I'm going to give you an example why we need flexibility. Say for example, I want to teach horse to travel in forward motion and be collected in the right lead on the walk. Because horse, same as a dog, when you look on the straight, horse walking in the right lead or walking in the left lead. It's not possible to ride horse in a straight line by using two sides together. We will never going to succeed with our animal. That's why horse is throwing heads up in the air. That's why they're shaking the head left and right direction. Then when we're holding the reins, that's when they're going sideways because they not understand which side of the body we're riding actually the horse, left or right side. So let's come back to this example. Say for example we travel on the right lead, and if my horse not, and I'm going to show you a small clip, pay attention when I'm going to talk, I'm going to show you also a small clip about the shoulders right now. Say for example horse doesn't know how to move the shoulder and we want to stretch right neck muscle to the left, because eventually we want to travel and teach horse to be collected and travel like that on the walk or in the trot or in the lope. So if I'm going to pick up both reins together and horse doesn't know how to move shoulders, what's going to happen? Horse going to start to lean inside. Next, what's going to happen? You're going to start to press with your leg to fix the horse, because you cannot move shoulder with your rein and with your leg. Horse going to start to throw head up in the air. Then you're going to start to press with your leg. Then horse going to start to lean towards the leg. Then you're going to start to pull harder or press harder. Then emotion is going to rise up and horse going to tense. And a lot of times when you travel with horses to the left, to the right, especially in the trot, and when you pick up both reins and you want to engage and arch, better say little bit neck to the left, to the right, horse start to lean inside. Then we start to dominate the horse or press and etc. So that's why we need shoulders. Anytime, say for example I pick up and I want to this neck muscle and horse leaning inside, I'm going to say please move the shoulder. Again, horse leaning inside, I said no, we learned this already, please move your shoulders. Say for example horse leaning on the trot with shoulder, exactly the same as a walk. Why we need the shoulders? Why we need the shoulders? Okay? So say for example he traveling to the right, I'm gonna say no, move the shoulders. Again he travels, start to lean to the right, I said no, move the shoulders and release the rein. So you can see how shoulders helping me to keep my horse in a straight line. So if my horse cannot travel on the forward motion consistently on the walk, trot, and lope, I cannot develop a neck muscle. If I cannot develop neck muscle, I cannot communicate through the shoulders. Horse all the time, probably you face this challenge with your horse when you ride your horse. Horse all the, and you want to pick up the reins, horse all the time lean inside, lean inside, lean inside. Then the dominating horse are going to turn into different directions. So you can remember, I will going to dominate you with fear, you're going to travel to the right, so you're never going to lean to the left. But reality, it's all about elevating the shoulder, move shoulder outside. Please engage the hindquarters inside. Please travel in a straight line. And that's where we need flexibility. So if my horse cannot travel in a forward motion and keep the shoulder inside and keep his hindquarters inside and not relax, collection will going to start to fall apart because horse already cannot travel in a straight line and using each side. Very important I'm saying right now, by using each side individually. So that's why horse is refusing travel forward motion, raising the head up, especially when we try to collect, because they not understand which side of the body. Again, I'm going to say very important, which side of the body we collect. Right side of the body we collect, or left side of the body we collect. What is it lead changes? Lead changes, it's change from the left side to the right side. From the right side, change your body to the left side. That's a collection. You're never going to achieve lead changes without collection in a straight line. You might going to jump from circle to circle. It's not a lead change. That's just take a horse out of balance. Okay, so that's a prime example how much flexibility on the neck, shoulders, ribcage, and hindquarters you need even to teach horse travel on a straight line and be collected. Then you're going to say, Russ, but how you educate the horse collect? How you educate the horse to be collect? You pull in the reins and bend his neck? That's why I struggled so many years. Probably good 10 years I struggled to understand that. I'm not going to hide this from you because I truly want to understand how important it is. And some people even never experience in their life what collection actually means and how that's feel under saddle. By sitting back and pulling the reins back and think you can collect your horse with your seat, that's will never going to happen. You're going to have so many frustration. Collection, it's not bending neck. Collection coming from the spine, from the rib cage. If your horse can pick you up with saddle up in the air with this rib cage, he will going to engage. Because if you have straight line right now, that's a hindquarters, that's a neck. If you're going to pick up, look what's happened with hindquarters and with neck. Horse become round. That's a collection. That's how hips go inside. That's how withers break. Okay? Different discipline, different riding, different way with neck. English people, English riders, I better say, they want to be collected, they want to engage hindquarters, but they want to elevate more front end. They still want to have spine round, hindquarters inside, but elevate front end. Then neck getting higher and arch. In our Western industry, when we're riding the horses, we want to accomplish so horse will gonna ride with collected spine and and rib cage, engage the hindquarters and keep this neck round, not to the ground, round and arch. That's actually collection, because reality, if you're gonna collect your horse in the spine and hindquarters go inside and neck gonna drop, then you're gonna break your horse in half and all weight actually going on the front end, and it's gonna be much harder to use hindquarters. So you want to be collected in the spine, engage hindquarters, elevate it a little bit here, and be arch in the front. That's a true collection. That's my opinion. That's how I feel. Horses riding better this way, so they're using much more hindquarters, and they're much lighter on the front end than the hind end. So reality, collection, it's a lot of different physical exercises, repetitions with forward motion with your legs and stopping and going forward. So it's a lot of repetition. Stop, collect it, and go forward. That's how you truly developing this spine, be arch, and using hindquarters. It's not all the not all, when you start to just educate a horse, that's not all the time. Travel forward motion, pick up the rein, and squeeze with your legs. Because again, we're dominating the muscles, we're dominating the brain, and horses will gonna never keep the shape. They're will gonna start to throw the head up in the air because it's gonna be painful in the spine and painful in the hind quarters. So it's a lot. I come back and explain again. It's not because you see sore on the horse face or changing different beats. It's a lot of different physical exercises and very, very small repetition to teach horse to be collected and release. So what are you truly developing? You're developing muscle memory on the horse barrel, on the spine. You make him very strong there. So anytime you put in your legs on the horse rib cage, he will gonna elevate and keep the shape. If I will gonna keep my legs all the time on his rib cage and squeeze underneath, because that's how I ask my horse to pick up the rib cage, and I'm gonna travel for a long time, I dominating the muscles, muscles gonna get tired, and reality he gonna start to drop his neck, drop the spine down because he wants to relax. So we're gonna concentrate after on the mouth, not even the neck. By scissoring, you're using different beats. So again, I come back and explain again. It's a lot of different physical exercises and small repetitions with horses on the forward motion to develop muscle memory on the spine. Not all the time pulling in the reins, sit down and travel for a long period of time. Come back again, explain, because we're damaging the horse muscles in the horse barrel on his back, and he's gonna start to drop his spine because he's gonna be tired and he's gonna be in pain, and after it's gonna transfer everything to the hindquarters and the hocks, and that's how we're making our horses very sore. So say for example, how I'm gonna start to educate the horse to understand my legs, even to travel forward motion. It's important to guide your horse. It's important to teach your horse back up when you educate the horse to be collected. These two education before you start to educate the horse. Horse have to be flexible. Horse have to travel. Horse have to travel consistent and consistently. Horse have to understand how to guide very well. Doesn't matter if you're riding English or Western. Okay, when you just start to educate a horse on the Western or English discipline, you still gonna use both reins. Till horse gonna develop these physical abilities, and you will gonna transfer in a loose rein, in a split reins, or in a Roma reins, or you're gonna continue riding with both reins in the English discipline. You still will gonna ride two hands when you just start to educate the animal to be collected. So again, we need flexibility, we need forward motion. Now, if we don't have flexibility in forward motion, we have stiff horse, guiding gonna fall apart. You're gonna say, Russ, why we need guiding to educate horse collected? We just talked 5 minutes ago. If you're gonna travel in the perimeter, that's guiding. If I cannot control shoulders, horse gonna go lean, that's a guiding. I cannot move the shoulder up and said, please continue travel in straight line. If you're gonna go to advanced level, I wanna travel in a circle and change different serpentines, and I'm gonna pick up the reins and say, move this shoulder, and I cannot guide. Collection gonna fall apart. Repetitions of physical exercise gonna start to fall apart. I'm gonna give you another very interesting example what we're gonna practice on this clinic. If my horse cannot back up, it's gonna be very, very hard to educate horse to be collected. You're gonna say, Russ, what are you talking about? We're teaching horse travel forward motion, bend the neck, put spurs on their guts, and bend this horse and travel forward motion. Forward motion. Why you need horse to teach horse back up? So I gave you this example. Horse travel on the forward motion. You're gonna ask your horse, travel forward motion. You're gonna ask your horse to stop. They're gonna pick up the reins, and horse have to give you both neck muscles, be collected and stop. Okay, and after that's exercise. And after be still collected, stay still, and travel forward motion. I'm gonna show you a small clip with young horse, 3 years old, Just pay attention what I am explaining. Cup, trot. Beautiful, that's what I want. So I'm gonna work on this so I can see that forward motion. Okay, and she pick up on a trot and be collected, not backing up. Again, pick up, very good, she collected. Now she losing shoulders. I said pick up the trot, pick up the trot. Very good. You see how she elevating her hips and moving with this shoulders forward. Beautiful. Let her relax. And again, be collected. Now pick up the trot. Beautiful. Very good. Not to pull. Release the reins. Very good. And again, pick up the trot. Be collected. First a slow trot, now squeeze. Till I'm gonna see this extended trot and be collected right here. And I said that's exactly what I want. And let her relax. So horse have to travel. Travel for motion, stop, be collected, and immediately travel for motion. That's where you truly make the spine round, engage hindquarters, keep the shape, and travel in forward motion. So you actually teach a horse not to bend the neck. You're concentrating on this transition. Stop, collect it, and travel forward motion. This repetition probably gonna be not more than 3 seconds of the exercise. That's what you actually concentrating. And if your horse gonna stop and throw head up in the air, you're losing neck muscles, you're using hindquarters, you're losing the spine. You're losing whole exercise. You're losing collection. So if I cannot stop my horse, it's mean and be collected, it's mean my horse doesn't know how to back up. Anytime I pick up rein, he stretch his neck muscle forward. He fight with this muscle through my hands. You can call sometimes beat, but it's nothing to do with beat. That's a neck muscle, because he's not flexible on the neck muscle, he will never gonna arch his neck. And we're concentrating on the mouth. Nothing to do with mouth, neck muscle. So that's why we need backup to keep the horse stop, be collected, and travel forward motion. And it's in this clinic I will share with you many different exercises, how to educate horse travel forward motion in the loose rein, and the walk, trot, and low. And we are going to show you how to do flexibility. I'm going to show you how to teach horse to guide and be flexible, how to teach horse back up and be flexible on the spine, rib cage, hindquarters, and shoulders. And after I'm going to take all this education and bring to the collection. And we're going to teach horse to be collected on the walk, on the trot, and the lope. So that's just little bit philosophy with explanation of physical exercises, how to educate the horse to be collected, and how important to have collection. Any maneuver with horses in the final performance physical exercise, such as lead changes, pick up, correct lead departure, back up, side pass, speed control, flying lead changes, going through the logs, going through the bridges, open the gate, every movement you have to have collection on the horse spine, transfer to the neck, and transfer to the hindquarters. If horse not collected, not just bending neck, horse actually not round, you will gonna face so many challenges with your horse, and you're just gonna push your horse with your legs to the left and to the right, or just pulling the reins. So I suggest you guys to visit this clinic. It's going to be a lot of interesting information that I'm going to share with you. You're going to take home with you in your educational library and put it in your shelf, and we're going to practice with your horses. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing this clinic. Thank you.